All right. Next, we want to look to common law marriage and how that's created and the valid requirements for it. Common law marriage is one created without a license or a ceremony. Many states do not permit common law marriage. Florida uh, abolished common law marriages, except that common law marriages that were entered into prior to, I think it's January 1st, 1964. I don't know, it's a Florida statute. You can look it up. You'll know that anyone prior to that time who entered into a common law marriage in Florida is the court will uphold that marriage. And it requires pretty simple standards. It varies from state to state, but people have to live together. Sometimes the state might have a period of time, but that you would have to check on a state-by-state basis because this is a state law principle. And they have to hold themselves out to as husband and wife, and they have to have a present intent to marry. The case of Jennings versus Hurt, is a good little introduction to intent. This was a situation where you have to form an intent in order to have a common law marriage. In other words, they don't just happen because two people live together. And that's important to understand when you're evaluating a case to see if they have a valid marriage. And you want to defer to common law. In Florida, you don't need to unless these people that come to the office are saying that we so all of these two things indicate that they never formed any intent required of a common law marriage. And these documents, did not, she had documents that listed her as single, so that's not married. Failure to prove that mutual intent defeated the finding of a common law marriage in the case of Jennings versus Hunt. People who choose common law, common law marriage is an old tradition. Back in the day, for example, if you went to the Wild Wild West prior to the 19th century, whatever, in those jurisdictions that permit common law marriage, people also, it's very expensive to get married. If you've done that before, you know that. and so people will choose common law marriage instead of um, a formal, conventional type of marriage.